Foremost, not responsible for any losses you may accrue for having weekends. Where the haters at? Y'all bitches still ain't showed up. And now, right, we got Hex, flawless uptime. People thought this was a joke. Now they're mad at the chart.
This is Wales Only. Glad you guys can make it out. I'm making some claims that are pretty outlandish, but I can back them up. Boom. End of story. There is no other crypto out there, so don't get it twisted. If you don't understand where you're parking your money, you're gonna pay the consequences for that, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. Boom. We're obliterating everybody, literally. There is nobody else that comes close to what Hex has done. Boom. Oh, it's about to get funky. Funkier than you could have ever imagined. You know, Richard Hart is a boss. Hex is literally the best thing on the planet. It's simple mathematics. Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. Yep. That's it. Yep. That's the secret. The Godwell told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. Shit, motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. I mean, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all deep. Everybody. My God. Hex Asians, bro. Everybody. Australians, man. Everybody gets me. Yo, when is it told you? Dollar told you. Everybody done told you. It's crazy. Yo, what's good, fam? Hope everybody's having an outstanding, what is this, Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday. Yeah, it's getting lit out there. Hope y'all paying attention, because these streams aren't going to last forever. You know, there's going to be a point in time where we're just cut off from the internet at worst. Cut off from mainstream outlets at best, right? And they already tried that in 2020, right? All the way through 2021. I mean, it's really been in motion since fuck, as long as I can remember, because I've been an adult basically the entire time this shit's been happening. Definitely before 2013. But everybody was so asleep back then, you know, who the fuck was paying attention? You know, just motherfuckers like me and whoever else. But now, you know, it's a little more obvious what's going on, right? To the point that you got the losers trying to jump on the bandwagon now, thinking that that's helping them out. And guess what? It's not. So if you want to be prepared before go time, you know, you might want to follow me wherever I'm at. I am on Twitter, obviously. I am on YouTube as well. I also, you know what? Now that we're talking about it, let me fucking check this shit, because I just cannot remember if I have an Odyssey account and a Rumble or either or. I think I only have Odyssey, but I really don't remember. So let me just double check, because I swear I have both. Yeah, looks like I have both. Okay. So I am on both Odyssey and Rumble. And you guys should be aware of those two platforms, because they're the only other ones that are somewhat, you know, free. As in, they respect freedom of speech and shit. So, let's see. Are my videos even on here? Hold on, am I even getting money from? Oh man, I need to hook up my money joint on these. I ain't even paying attention. Look, I really suck at making money on the internet, unless it's trading. So probably obvious by now since I'm not out here trying to rob and steal everybody's money on the internet. But it looks like my account is not syncing on Rumble. At any rate, be sure to follow me on those platforms because I am gonna update them here shortly, probably within the next couple weeks. Because the reality is that cannot really be resting on our laurels. And even though our entire lives have basically been that, this is the time where it's probably a good idea to stop doing that shit. Stop relying on convenience. Stop relying on all these creature comforts that are not for you. Because guess what? Your ass ain't in control. So, because you're not in control, it's not really much for you to say or do besides get mad. And that's exactly the biggest issue we all have collectively as a group of people that are aware of what the hell is going on. We're mad all the time. And when you're mad all the time, a motherfucker is just not trying to hear you because they think they have it figured out and you're just a pissed off dude or chick or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand that. So we are living at a point in time where if you're not awake by now, ain't no waking you. You just fucked. And the reality is that a lot of people just don't realize it. Don't realize it. They don't respect it. And guess what? Of course, there are consequences to pay for that. And the people that have died so far from 2020 moving on forward have learned that lesson the hard way. And my entire mission outside of educating people about crypto, which is paramount, the additional mission is enlightening people so they can actually realize why crypto is important because crypto by itself is irrelevant. If you cannot grasp all of the supplemental information that corroborates the validity of the value of cryptocurrency as of now, because things change, there's no helping you if things change in the way that we expect, given the reality that we have experienced. And these are things that, you as an adult gotta fucking understand. Nobody can make you, nobody can force you. If you want to believe blindly, knock yourself out. But understand that you gotta understand what you are doing and the choices that you're making and the decisions that you're making, et cetera, et cetera. Because the funniest thing I see online is people blaming others for their decisions when they chose what they wanted to hear. And that's constant, that's not even, that's every fucking day. So, don't get caught up in the hype of thinking you got shit figured out because you never do. Don't get caught up in the hype of thinking you have a clue about anything because just when you think you do, something happens to prove you wrong in a very major way. So, the best thing you can realistically do is remain objective and be water. Because if you think you got it figured out to the point that you think you know what you're doing at all times, all instances of the day, no matter what, there's just not a lot there to help you. You're just fucked. Because what happens is that reality does not conform to you. Right? And that's an important thing to realize. Because what is reality in the first place? And I mean, that's something that most motherfuckers cannot answer, even though they think they can. right? And even those of us that think we can, you really are probably wrong. Because you best believe the motherfuckers that think they can and definitely don't know half of what we know don't know shit. So if people that think they know don't know shit, what do we know when we don't even have all of the information? Right? And these are the types of things, man, that people just mm, they just lean on for one reason or another, as if it's a benefit to them. And then when the world changes in their faces, even though there was all these signs pointing in the direction to highlight the obviousness of what the fuck is going on. What's the first thing that these motherfuckers do? Well, they blame some other motherfucker. Right? And those are the people that no matter what they say, what they do, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this is basically foxicans or fucktoxicans. Right? And that's just to give you, the viewer, if you've been in Hexago long enough, an understanding of the kind of people I'm talking about. You have no integrity, you have no moral values, you're easily manipulated, you have no spine, all these things, they show something about you and your upbringing and your behavior patterns and all these things that we love to ignore as human beings. Mm. But what does that mean for us? It means a lot of things that we choose to ignore, right? I mean, who cares about crypto when you don't understand why crypto matters? And that's the point of these streams. You can make all the X's you want, but at the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck, man, because you ain't doing nothing with that shit. Straightforward. Simple as that. So while you out here pretending to be gangster online, in the real world, nobody gives a fuck. And that is something that you should be aware of. Because there's nothing but instances where people are just mm, 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 mm. They put themselves in situations where if people understood what they were doing, they wouldn't do it. Really that simple. And again, the idea behind these videos and these streams, in fact, is to highlight how much we really do not know. Because that's really all it is. There's really nothing more to it than that. Because who is to say that whatever we think is real is real? I mean, you don't really know anything. And the only thing we learn every day is that we know less and less with every passing day. Because I'm sure the last thing anybody ever expected was for Prince Charles to relinquish, or is it king? The king to relinquish his throne to the prince when he just took the motherfucker. I mean, you guys got to comprehend. These people do not just get out of the way. So something is afoot. And the question is, do you actually motherfucking know? And the answer is you don't fucking know shit. So what's the retort to that from somebody that is talking all this nonsense online? Well, the retort to that is you better be prepared for whatever the fuck you can drum up in your head. Straight up. because you don't have any control over what happens to you or what comes to your door. You don't. This is America, if you live in America. And in America, you no longer have control over that. That shit ended in 2021. I mean, it really ended in 2020, but I'm not going to get specific. There is nowhere that's independent in this nation until the people decide that they're independent. Because every second that people waste picking sides except the side of humanity is another second that guarantees a negative outcome for society at large, period. So let's get into it. And of course, as always, let me know if you guys cannot hear. We're just going to assume that you can hear and stop doing sound checks. Now, this first clip, I hope you can even fathom that this shit is real. But what's happening here is that you see a bunch of Israelis in the scene, and watch what they do to this aid truck trying to drop food off. Well, not just food, but supplies to those on the other side. Note that they're sprinting. I mean, why would Israelis need aid? They don't need aid. They got it all. And this is what they're doing to the people that actually need goods and services. But there's more. No worries. I'm just going to mute music because I'm tired of copyright strikes. So just pay attention, guys. Sorry, guys, but I had Chrome, man. Chrome sucks. Every time there's an update, is another fucking update. So if you don't catch what's going on in this video, stop the next one. This is in Montreal, December 29th, 1931. This is a publication from that point in time. Now watch what they're going to say or type in the paper. 1931. What do you see there in 1931? How is that possible? That going back all the way to what, 1915? All the way to 1915. You're seeing June 6, 1915. What do you see? Wait for it. Oh, 6 million Jews, one half of the Jewish people throughout the world, apparently, over 110 years ago, about 110 years ago. Apparently, there was no Holocaust. And this is how I knew. Hope you motherfuckers can get it too. Because there's just no helping some of you motherfuckers. You just want to believe the lies so hard. So let's continue.
Who's in charge of the CDC that was controlling and telling our government to shut down small businesses and what they recommend for the mandates of the vaccine?
Apparently, you guys couldn't hear it. So let me just update Chrome. Um, the idea is, and let me know if you guys can hear me. The idea is to highlight the obviousness of the scam that's going on. All right, great. If you guys are having video issues and whatnot, I suggest you check your side because it seems to be playing. If it's not, let me know and I'll have to update this Chrome shit. So, I mean, magically it happens in the middle of the day when I have to stream. Don't know what to tell you. Maybe it's closer to UTC. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But the idea is for you guys to see the scam. First point, motherfuckers is blocking aid. Oh, that's fine. You don't need to sound the video. Just read the obviousness of what's going on. If you couldn't see the banner, I'll just start taking that shit off. Because you don't need to hear the video. You definitely need to read the motherfucking names. Read the caption. Read the closed caption. Because every person that was shown has dual citizenship with Israel. You know who cannot have dual citizenship? Everybody else in the United States literally cannot have dual citizenship and be at the levels that these people are. That's a fact, not an opinion. And if you don't know what an SF-86 is, then you should shut the fuck up and stop acting like you do know what I'm talking about. Because this is where we separate. There are those that know, and then there are those that pretend to know. And you can look it up if you want. Hopefully, you can find some information. And the idea, again, is behind this clip is that everybody that permeates and is named high up, they all were related as far as the scam went. And that's what's being shown here. So you got newspaper articles from over 100 years ago. And you got these motherfuckers blocking aid today. I mean, just keep watching. Now, this is great. I called this the day this motherfucker was voted in. And here we go. Motherfuckers really thought shit was going to change in Argentina. And I told y'all motherfuckers day zero. No, it ain't. Just a setup for the next scam. Learn how to read your enemy or just shut the fuck up.
Junto a Axel Weinstein, excelente la imagen, el futuro embajador argentino. Un momento muy importante. La tradición es esta, ¿no? Apoyar así las manos, apoyar todo el cuerpo, las manos. Se pide, se agradece. Voy a hacer se pide, se agradece, se emociona. Está llorando Javier Milei. Abraza a su rabino, a su líder espiritual, con quien comenzó el camino de la Kabbalah, por el cual él informó que va a estar en un queriendo ser judío, besa el muro de los lamentos. Javier Milei.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let's continue. Listen to this rabbi say that the Talmud permits what? Jewish incest. Pay attention, folks, because they doing it in your fucking face. All right, let me update this damn Chrome then. Sorry, guys. I'll be right back. Don't leave. It'll cut us out and bring us back. So just give me a second. Let me update this crap so these assholes can stop fucking with the flow. Okay, now they're hiding the update. Oh, here we go. All right. Stay tuned.
father converted, and let's say he has a 15-year-old daughter that didn't convert. She's not allowed to ever sleep over at his house unless he's married as a wife and this young girl sleeps in a different room and the wife is always home. He's never allowed to be alone with his own daughter, biological daughter. Not allowed. He's considered 100% a goya that's not related to him, even though she's a biological daughter. Rambam Paskins La'alacha that according to the Torah, if a father, not just a brother and a sister, that's needless to say, but if a Christian, Catholic, whatever, decides to convert to Judaism, his daughter, 18, 19 years old, 20 years old, she also wants to convert. According to the Torah, they're allowed, after they convert, they're allowed to marry each other. According to the Torah, the sages instituted a ruling that they're not allowed, but according to the actual Torah, they're allowed to marry each other. Why? Because once they convert, they're two completely different people. They're strangers to each other. And then it's a problem, and that's where the sages instituted. But I can tell you that there have been exceptions. Yes, and I know some people, it's disgusting, it's incest. I understand what you're saying. I get you. You're thinking from a secular mind. I'm talking about Torah here. Torah is not supposed to agree with your secular mind. The point being is that according to the Torah, there are certain things that are unacceptable by the secular mind, by the society, and therefore even the sages instituted certain things, certain takanot, in order to protect the mother and a daughter that converted, or a brother and a sister that converted, technically are allowed to marry each other. It's according to the Torah, not the sages. Sages forbid it. The sages are more strict. But Torah allows it. Why they forbid it? Lest the goyim, the non-Jews, say that the Jews are incestual people and so on. Halacha is, Gemara says, Shulchan Aruch says, Rambam says, when someone converts, they are gifted a new neshama.
There is clearly an aspiration, a desire for digital payments, much more so than it was in the past, and this is growing. We are now, in the surveys that we've conducted across the 19 members of the Euro area, we have more than 50% of the respondents who say, we want digital payments. Well, less use of cash, demand for secure and riskless payments. Where do we stand? We central bankers, we have been operating as a monetary anchor in relation to the commercial banks and the private money. If we are not in that game, if we are not involved in experimenting, in innovating in terms of digital central bank money, we risk losing the role of anchor that we have played for many, many decades. And we have historical examples of period where the central bank monetary anchor was not there, and that precipitated crisis after crisis. That certainly was the case at the time of the free banking in the 19th century. Do we want to go back to those days? Probably not. I would say certainly not from our vantage point, as a result of which we have
Sorry about that, guys. I just want to say eventually we will touch on the 19th century so you guys can understand that whatever they're saying about the 19th century is always false, always a lie. And just to give you a little taste of what's to come in the future, be advised that nobody really in this country has history going back more than 200 years. All that shit is fabricated. I got you. No worries. Be patient. We'll get there.
To respond to the demand for those digital payments in order to maintain the role of anchor that we have been playing regularly.
Our Food systems are harming the health of people and planet. Food systems contribute to over 30% of greenhouse gas emissions and account for almost 1/3 of the global burden of disease. Transforming food systems is therefore essential by shifting towards healthier, diversified, and more plant-based diets. If food systems delivered healthy diets for all, we could save 8 million lives per year. WHO is committed to supporting countries to develop and implement policies to improve diets and fight climate change. I'm therefore very pleased
Could not leave out the climate change.
that over 130 countries have signed the COP28 UAE Declaration on Climate and Health. Together,
You guys should understand that at first, it was only climate.
we can protect and promote the health of both people and planet.
Let's see what else. What other kind of scams they have in store for us.
Our farmers deserve to be listened to. I know that they are worried about the future of agriculture and about their future as farmers. But they also know that agriculture needs to move to a more sustainable model of production so that their farms remain profitable in the years to come. Farmers need a worthwhile business case for nature-enhancing measures.
Imagine being a human so arrogant that you think you can enhance nature.
Perhaps we have not made that case convincingly. The months ahead will not be easy.
As you watch these videos, you should understand that they're telling you what they're going to do. I don't know if you guys have caught on to that yet, but I've told you that a million times that you should hear this.
But I think we have an important opportunity now. It is clear to everyone in this House that our agri-food sectors, beginning with the farms, needs a long-term prospect and a willingness to listen to each other and to look for common solutions.
Well, let's listen to this.
Will first have to be definitively identified. Hi everybody. Hi everybody. Hi everybody. What if I told you by the year 2027 you would need to have a digital ID in order to get online? Would you believe me?
Just so you understand, the military has already been doing this since 2003. Probably before I even joined the military, now that I think about it. So, keep resting on your laurels. It'll work out one day.
Because that's exactly what this is. The Pentagon creates roadmap for zero trust internet access by 2027. Tian has examined this topic in detail several times. Ultimately, the only people who will be able to hop on the internet, regardless of the entry point, will first have to be definitively identified. This will require a personal registered ID comparable to an electronic passport. No digital ID. You don't use the internet. Got it? Every activity is tracked, cataloged, and saved. The military is paving the way for this. Hi everybody. What if I told you?
This is a nice one. The war pigs who told you we had to send billions to Ukrainian Nazis are now outraged at Tucker Carlson for going to Russia to find out where the money is actually going. This should be good. Let's watch.
Why do you think Tucker Carlson's visit to Russia has drawn so much media attention stateside?
Well, I think you have to look at all of the are funding this war in Ukraine, all of the U.S. deep state warmongers who told us that we had to send hundreds of billions of dollars, taxpayer funds abroad to fund a Nazi military in the effort of destroying Russian civilization, destroying Putin. And now they're the ones who are the most up in arms, the most freaked out about the prospects of Tucker Carlson going to Russia and actually seeing why we sent this money to Ukraine, seeing what's actually going on there. They understand that Tucker's going to shed light on the truth, seeing what's actually going on there. They understand that Tucker's going to shed light on the truth of the situation. He did that at Fox News. I think that was part of the reason why he was fired eventually. And now you're going to hear it from the man's mouth, from Vladimir Putin himself, about the hypocrisy of the Western action.
That Tucker Carlson is in Moscow has also gone viral on social media, with some liberal users suggesting that journalists should be banned from returning home. How does that fit with Washington's duty to uphold the Bill of Rights?
Well, there's no legal basis for that. I think it's very ironic to point out the fact that one of establishment's favorite media organizations in the United States is Vice News. Now, Vice News in the past, in 2019, 2018, they've interviewed ISIS fighters, they've interviewed Al Qaeda, and a whole host of other extremely unsavory individuals. So they have no problem with Vice News doing that, but they have a problem with Tucker Carlson interviewing the leader of one of the most powerful nations on the earth, which is a member of the United Nations Security Council. I think it's incredible. It's laughable what they're saying. People like Bill Kristol calling him to be barred from returning states, other people requesting that the FBI investigate this matter. I mean, we have a rich tradition of journalism in the United States, journalists interviewing people like Fidel Castro, people interviewing leaders of the world that may have been enemies of the United States. This is no different than Tucker, because I think the American people need to understand the truth. And as we all know, the answer to bad speech, if that's how the liberal, it's more speech. Unfortunately, they seem to have forgotten our First Amendment.
Tucker Carlson has claimed that the U.S. government is opposed to him interviewing President Putin. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think that we could all look at the fact that since February of 2022, we've seen an overwhelming majority of them on the to stop funding Ukraine in this war, bring about peace deal. Republicans, we should be focusing on our future at home. And Tucker Carlson was one of the driving forces for that title shift public opinion in the United States at a show on Fox News nightly, coming out prime time and making a case so many nights of the week for this to come to an end and to stop the lead to Vladimir Putin. And this is an interview that isn't going to be, it's not going to have liberal propaganda or like many of the other past. It's going to be ever seen on the end of the most viewed videos that has ever graced the internet. And that's going to cause a lot more Americans to question the official that consider the House
So I'm just having real bad internet connectivity today, I guess, because they want to fuck with it. I don't know. I never have internet issues. I don't have any other internet issues. It's just showing the videos. So either StreamYard is being amended, altered in the way it works based on content, or something. Anyway, so you got Spain, the police setting up roadblocks and all that. And what do the farmers do? Well, they just drive around it because they're in tractors. So, major L for the cops, unless they're just playing the part. I don't know, because they're not even trying to stop them or anything. So hard to say. In the UK, or I'm sorry. Well, yes, Ireland is the UK. It's not its own entity because people there quit, centuries ago. Irish Gestapo target women and children, peaceful protesters. The whole of Ireland is a part of powder keg waiting to explode, and I agree. I mean, imagine this is what you see, and you're just standing on the side doing nothing. What happens? They come and snatch your wife and kid up. It's about to get real lit. Y'all keep relaxing at home, thinking it ain't coming here. All right. So this motherfucker right here is why I don't respect anybody that thinks that they have some type of moral superiority behind them because they're religious motherfuckers. The more religious you are, the more of a piece of shit you are by default. Because you have no moral compass of your own. You need some motherfucker to tell you how to think, how to breathe, how to do whatever the fuck it is they tell you clowns to do. There's no difference between a motherfucker that's a Muslim, a motherfucker that's Jewish, a motherfucker that's Catholic, Christian, you fucking name it. All the motherfuckers is the same. The costume is different. Let's watch.
I live in the biggest house in the state of Louisiana. I have the biggest house of any preacher in America. I don't mean that arrogantly or pridefully. I have a name to my house, La Maison de Rêve, the house of dreams. You like going with the wind? My house has that same staircase that Scarlett O'Hara walked up. Oh, I paid cash for the home. Well, you want to know how big it is? It's 40,000 square foot. Oh, am I shocking? Look at Kathy. Oh, Jesus, we're going to catch it again. It's 40,000 square foot. And a lot of times if I go out, cars start stopping, honking. Christmas, I walked outside the front, just walked out, and a man slammed his brakes and, brother, brother. I said, hello. And he threw $5,000 over the fence. $100 bill. I said, I ain't telling Kathy nothing.
And just to be more precise, any and every religious denomination is the fucking same. I don't give a fuck. All the motherfuckers is the same. Because they need some motherfucking body to tell them to not be a piece of shit. Instead of just not being a piece of shit. There's nothing funnier than a motherfucker thinking that they're superior because of that. You're inferior, motherfucker. As fuck. Now let's check this out, because you guys know I love showing all these, and this is exactly why I shit on religion, all these different versions of the Bible. Let's watch.
Howdy, folks. This is the Rubber Duck. I want to bring something to your attention as I just found out about it. Here we have two Bibles. This is a New International Version, all right, published in 2010, okay? This is Older Family Bible, and this is a King James Version, not just any. This is a King James, based off 1611, and this one was published in 1971, the year of my birth. Okay, so the reason why I'm showing these to you is I found out that there is, I'm sure there's a ton more, there's probably passages and books and chapters all over the place that are missing. But this is the first time I've actually seen it myself. So if this book was published in 2010 and it's missing something, that this Bible had in it from 1971. Okay, so what I want to do is take you into the book of Matthew, all right, which is back here. All right, and we're looking specifically for Matthew 17:21. All right, and you'll see it when it's there. All right, Matthew 17. All right, the transfiguration, and it goes from 20 to 21, how you would expect it, and then up to 22. All right, and we have, and Jesus said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit, this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. Okay, so this part talks about the importance to Christians of prayer and fasting. Okay, is this like something we might need to know for the coming times? Who knows? But it's in this Bible. Okay, so we're going to close that Bible, and we're going to open up this New International Version of the Bible, which was a gift to me from my pastor at the time. Let's just go back to Matthew. Let's see what they got here. All right, so here's Matthew. So let's go to what we would hope is Matthew 17:20-21. Okay, so here's Matthew. Okay, here's the transfiguration, and we'll count them up. All right, you see, what is this? 15, 17, 20, 22. So it goes, because you have so little faith, I tell you the truth. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say no. You can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible to you. And then it skips to, when they came together in Galilee, he said to them, the Son of Man is going to be betrayed into the hands of men. They will kill him. And on the third day, he will be raised to life. And the disciples were filled with grief. Do you see what's missing? Do you see how important that is? Prayer and fasting. And they left it out. Check your Bible. I'm sure there's a lot more.
Yep, there sure is. And let's watch this composite video here. Well, I hope you're catching on to all the alpha that's being dropped, because I definitely can't spell it out for you, because then this shit turns into a 3-hour stream. Now, we're back at Lahaina because people are catching on to what they missed from the first. And we're talking about months ago from the first press conference. People are just catching on. And what month is it? Fucking February. When did shit happen? Like in November or some shit like that? I don't even remember, but it was a while ago. So why am I mentioning this? Again, while you out here living, pretending you're up on game, listen to this.
is we updated our natural man-made disaster policy.
I don't even need to play the rest. There's just no help for some people. Let's listen to this. Over the weekend, the Rothschilds apparently released control over, or their control over the banks. I don't know much about this. Let's listen in.
Such is the life of an asset. But anyway, so all of the assets have now been released, including people that were handled like that, scientists. So you can see how momentous this could actually be for all of humanity. Rothschilds also over the weekend released their control of banks. Do you know how big that is? They are huge. Yeah. They are the genetic shareholders we talk about. But okay. Now there's a reason why they do this. Okay, so I'm not only talking to you. I'm talking and explaining this to all of now free so they can understand how to navigate. They're not your friend now, and they're certainly not.
Interesting. I was just saying that.
With what they're planning on doing with the world here. Okay, so the genetic shareholders have released banks, which means Rockefeller in charge of Morgan Chase, China, that's an obvious family. Barclays is Rothschild. The Russian sector would be VTB. You also have the German sector, which used to run Deutsche Bank and some of the other tier one institutions. Well, it was the Lee LE as opposed to LI family. The LE family of
You can't tell me that they're not fucking with the stream. I'll put it right back up. Y'all keep pretending. I'm going to keep educating.
unfortunately. You also have Bank of America, which is you have a bunch of operatives that have been the bankers for sometimes decades, if not more. And they're sitting in the banks going, now what are we supposed to do? There's no hope. There's no hope of any money coming from Rothschild to help us run the bank. Now,
I'm going to give you guys a little bit more outfit than I already give. We're actually going to stop the stream. Man, you know what? I can play these. Now, I'm going to give you guys some quasi.
If you take an egg.
No, we're not watching this shit. Sorry, I didn't even mean to put that shit there. But we'll get into the evolution shit eventually. Well, I mean, if you still believe in that, there's whatever. Anyway, I am at the front door of the banking system daily. When I speak, y'all better listen.
So, for example, take one of the biggest in the world, hypertension, right? So high blood pressure. 85% of all high blood pressure diagnosis, 85% are what we call idiopathic, meaning they're of unknown origin. So you go to the doctor and they say, hey, you got high blood pressure. Well, what's wrong? Well, your heart, your EKG is normal, your EEG is normal, your heart and lung sounds are normal, your dye contrast study is normal, your cardiac catheterization is normal. We tested your heart every which way we could. There's nothing wrong with your heart. We're still going to medicate your heart anyway. You're going to get beta blocker, calcium channel blocker, diuretic. Even though we don't know what's wrong, we're still going to give you medication. You're going to be on this for the rest of your life. Well, then why do I have it? Well, because your father had it or your grandmother had it. That's patently false. The majority of what's happening is there's an amino acid in the blood called homocysteine. You have it, I have it, you have it. We all have it in our bloodstream. Some people have a genetic impairment where they don't metabolize this homocysteine very well. In other words, they don't break homocysteine down and turn it into a harmless amino acid called methionine. You can take a simple amino acid called TMG. You could go to GNC and get it right now, $27 a month. You could take this amino acid, you could begin to metabolize this homocysteine. What happens when homocysteine rises in the human bloodstream is, as it's cruising by the inside lining of the arteries, right? It irritates the artery. If you irritate an artery, it clamps down. If you make the pipes smaller in a fixed system, this is a closed system. If I make the pipes smaller, pressure goes up. There's nothing wrong with your heart. Your blood vessels are constricted. You take an amino acid, you metabolize homocysteine, the blood pressure, the vascular system relaxes, pressure returns to normal. You see, but if I convince you, if I can get you to buy off on the fact that you have a disease, then I can get you to buy off on the fact that you need a lifetime of medication.
Of course.
Now, that's just medical. Let's get into the weather.
The UAE government invested more than $20 million in research to start a process called cloud seeding. The UAE performs around 1,000 hours of cloud seeding a year, and it's all controlled by this building in the National Center of Meteorology in Abu Dhabi, where they track the whole process. We met with a cloud seeding expert to explain how the seeding process works.
We wait the forecast when we have a good, chance for a cloud. We send the aircraft to that location. It go under the cloud. In the first stage of the cloud, there is good updraft at that time, start to release all the salt, and with the good updraft, of course, it will go inside the cloud. The droplets will become bigger and start to rain.
The center manufactures a salt substance that helps enhance rainfall. They put them in what they call flares. This is a sample plane here at the National Center of Meteorology, but the real planes fly out from the runways in Al Ain.
Operation 219.
We also spoke to one of the weather forecasters. He explains how the operations work.
We align our pilots to be on the airports and tell them when to be at the airport. So as expected, we wait for the clouds to appear on the radar, and there we have our pilots talking to us. Let me know if there is any updrafts in your area.
Is it going to rain in Dubai today? Just so I know. I have to drive back from Abu Dhabi to Dubai.
No.
It's not raining. It's a sunny day.
This is Tampa. For those that aren't aware, Florida is not a foggy state. So that should lie. A vast library of ancient scrolls on the brink of being unlocked. No way. Let's listen in.
Classicists and papyrologists who have been looking at the results that the different teams have turned in.
It is so cool, and
So interesting, you guys, because we are trying to figure out, AI, we talk about it a lot and what it can do or not do. We're all trying to figure it out. And here's kind of proof of what it can do in terms of unlocking some of the world's history. After come back in, we've been showing those watching on TV and YouTube and on Bloomberg streaming, pictures of the scrolls. And they, to be quite honest, they do look like moths. And I don't look like scrolls. And I've been seeing it online as people live in the past, which is just awesome. Really, it's a hot dog, these things do not look like they're No, but how much information? Tell us a bit more about what we know about them so far.
Yeah, well, look, it could be exciting. So the one that you use his father-in-law is very well. And he only excavated a tiny part of it. Basically, there's 800 scrolls that we found that come from a closet. And the thinking is that someone like this would have tens of thousands of more scrolls, and nobody would want to excavate them because when you read them, nobody's up
I have this poster that exposes every conspiracy theory on the planet. Today, we will expose the truth on Dicenian glass. Dicenian glass is a special dye that is derived from coal tar. In 1911, a man by the name of Walter John Kilner developed a device called the Kilner screen. This screen consisted of collodion-coated, dye-treated glass plates with Dicenian dye sandwiched in the middle. In his book, The Human Atmosphere, Kilner proved that by using these two glass panes as wearable eyeglasses, the user would be able to train the eyes to perceive electromagnetic radiation outside the normal spectrum of visible light. Kilner not only proved the existence of the human aura, but also proved that by using this special dye, you can pierce the tapestry of the third dimension and gaze into the dimensions above. After Kilner published his findings, the United States swiftly stepped in. They confiscated everything and degraded the dye. Not only is Dicenian extremely hard to get a hold of, it is almost completely blacklisted from the...
Sounds like something you should probably look into. I don't know. What do you guys think? This is my favorite, one of my favorite.
The Holy Land of Israel is within...
Pay attention.
Yourself, Israel, uniting the two masculine and feminine energies to become oneness, consciousness. Consciousness is God, and this is why Jesus in French means I am. Consciousness is God, and it's in the center of the brain, in the pineal gland. And Jacob named the place Peniel, for he's seen God face to face. Genesis 32:30. He's seen God in the pineal gland. Chronicles 3:10, the most holy place, he made two cherubs. The two cherubs in the holy place are the two hemispheres of the brain. Your body is the temple of God, the temple of the Holy Spirit in Corinthians 6:19. Your neck and head is the Holy Grail. This is the Holy Land, the land flowing with milk and honey in the Bible, because the milk and the honey are the two sacred fluids which are produced in the brain. Every religion has a sacred river because the river is your spinal cord. This is the stairway to heaven, your spine. There are three parts of the brain and they connect with the three parts of the body. When you operate off the reptilian part of the brain, you are in hell, you manifest hell. When you operate off the mammal part of the brain, you're operating out of the heart, which is earth. Head is heaven. This is the neocortex, which rearranged spells one. This is when you are in oneness. Because heaven is even as in balance. You have to balance the two hemispheres, the two masculine and feminine principles. The ancient early Christians always depicted God in the brain because you are God made flesh. You are the Word made flesh. You will not be saved just by believing in Christ. You have to become Christ and turn to your higher self by sacrificing the lower nature of yourself. The link is in the bio for the Book of Wisdom.
Some of y'all are not going to be saved because you believe in bullshit instead of educating yourself with facts. And it's 33 vertebrae to the spine, sir. Let's continue. Hopefully this shit lets us play. This is Seattle.
Hello?
Hey, no, I'm okay.
You're okay?
Yeah, no, I was just
All right.
setting my purse on fire because it was cold.
Oh.
Seattle, folks. Just lighting my purse on fire because it's cold. Now, we're at the end of the stream. Let's laugh a little.
I'm calling to complain. And I think I just got ahead of myself. It was upside down.
No problem. It happens all the time.
I'm sorry. Bye. I feel so stupid.
Starbucks is being sued for selling you fake food. Here's what's going on. The fruit refresher drinks are now under scrutiny through a class action lawsuit that claims that there's a very important ingredient missing: fruit. Instead, these drinks are just made of a chemical soup of flavors and colors to give you the fake sensation of what the names claim they are. So what was Starbucks' reaction to the lawsuit? They tried to have it dismissed. But the judge presiding over the case rejected their dismissal and said that this case is going through and justice will be served. Let this lawsuit be a reminder to you that heavily processed and commercial foods are not designed with your health as a priority. Stick to whole foods, remove processed garbage, and you will probably be adding years to your life. Starbucks is being sued for selling you fake food. Here's what's going on.
Excuse me, guys. So we got salt being dropped into the atmosphere to create rain, specifically in the clouds. And on top of that, we have a well-educated natural health practitioner advising people that they should do what before they drink water? Take a small drop of actual real salt before they drink. How about that one? That's number one. Number two, diethylene glass. Right? Very interesting thing. What's more interesting about it is the fact that charcoal is a life force. It's carbon. I mean, I don't know how many more pieces to the pie you need to get it. Lastly, Whole Foods. If you shop there, you're a fucking idiot. Because everything they say and promote is inverted. So you're not buying any real food. You're buying fake food at Whole Foods. In case you didn't know. And that's all we have for today, folks. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope I shed some more light on what's actually going on out there, because the internet is a very great source for information if you know how to use it. And before we go, let's talk about crypto for like 2 minutes. The whole purpose behind me showing these videos is that you can expand your understanding, your comprehension of what the fuck is going on. Because there is no reason to chase fiat. There is no such thing. The banking system is literally fraudulent. It's bankrupt by default, by design. And if you don't understand that, comprehend that, and you think you know what you're doing in crypto, but you don't comprehend that, you don't know what you're doing in crypto, and you should probably figure it out, because you're going to get wrecked. And that's pretty much where it ends. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace. Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. Yep. That's it. Yep. That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. Shit, motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. I mean, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all deep, everybody.